Okay, so I'm picking up where I left off. I want to bring over a bunch more of the flagstones and kind of get this little walkway leading to the bench put in. I'm going to get the perennials planted that I have around here. I did bring over some, I believe this is red Munstead sedum, and kind of thinking about it, it's not going to go with my color scheme, so that's not going to go there. I'll take that somewhere else. But I took that out of the cottage garden a few weeks ago, and I've just been keeping it in a couple of buckets. So I'm going to put in what I have here, which are the asters and the nepidas, a couple of grasses, I have a few rudbeckias, and then I'm going to take the penstemon that I have in the courtyard garden because I was going to move that anyway, and I think that would look really nice here. It has a really dark kind of purple foliage, and it gets a white bloom head, and I think that'll look really nice and complement the color scheme that I'm going for over here. Right, and then I'm just gonna keep trugging along on this edge and bringing over some stones, completing that as I can, bringing in more of our compost. I probably have a few bucket loads left, so we'll see how far that gets. And then wherever it ends off, I'll just have to mulch. All right, these are the October Skies aster. They can tolerate sun to part shade, get 18 to 24 inches tall, and need to be spaced 20 to 24 inches wide. And these are going to be a late summer and into the autumn bloomer, so that'll be good to have. They'll coincide likely with the rudbeckias. And the nepidas will be kind of an all summer long thing, and the alliums should be an early midsummer bloomer. And then I have these penstemons, which are going to be another summer bloomer, and then I want to split a couple of daisies that I have in the redbud garden and bring those over, and that'll give another pop of white if I have the space. I'm trying to pack a lot into a little area. This area over here is nearly full sun. Once all these trees leaf out fully, it gets about 6 hours, which is kind of the cutoff for full sun, and then we'll receive dappled light kind of in the evening, and it gets dappled light in the morning, but it gets really good strong afternoon sun, so I'm not worried about all of these. Everything that I have is a full sun plant, I believe. Yeah, the asters and the rudbeckia could tolerate a little bit less sun, but everything over here should do just fine. Okay, so the limelights are gonna really fill out this whole corner and kind of grow in and fill this space right here. So my cutoff for planting is really gonna be kind of parallel with where this bench goes and forward, and eventually I might be able to kind of underplant back there. But it's really just kind of this area that we're focusing on. So yeah, I definitely have more plants than I need for right here, but that's okay. We will edit. Okay, so I'm going to place the rudbeckias, the nepidas, and the asters, and these penstemons first, kind of the bigger things first, and then I want to come through and stop scratching at that, and put the alliums kind of in between, so it's like they're growing up through the other perennials, because we want to be able to hide their foliage as it dies back after they've bloomed. Hey there, welcome back to Featherwood Farm. This is Darcy. We're back in that same area that I've been working on, setting up a new garden space in the backyard along the deck and kind of behind the Daydream garden in the front there. And I'm sitting on the bench that we put in here. It's exciting. I am going to plant some sort of vining something on either side to go up it. Whether I do a clematis or an annual vine, I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to see. But I did get a lot of the planting in this little corner done, and I want to share that with you. I got most of the rocks laid along the edge. I just want to go around the fire pit with them as well, but that still needs to be edged and cleaned up, and there's a couple other things going on over there that kind of hinder that right now, so I won't get to that today, but I will focus on putting in these kind of flagstone pad walkways, one leading up to the bench, and then a couple leading up to different spots on the deck. So we'll get to that. But first I wanted to just share the planting and how it's kind of looking. It's been 2 days since, yes, 2 days since I got everything planted and in, and the chickens have not tore anything up, so that's great. And we just had a frost last night, but everything survived just fine. So let me show you how it all looks. Obviously still have to get the gate built in due time. Not rushing myself on that one, but you can kind of see I have some allium, nepidas, a couple of the rudbeckias, penstemon. This is actually a penstemon that I grew from seed a few years ago. It's called Mystica penstemon, and it has a pretty, the newer foliage emerges in this kind of purple deep color, and then the older stuff turns green but still maintains a really dark purple veining. It's really lovely, and then the blooms are like a white pale lavender color, tubular type blooms, really lovely. And then back here I have a few of those October Skies asters, and then obviously the limelights. And then on this side, more of those penstemons, the lemon burst arborvitae, and I have a little ring of the nepidas that'll really grow up pretty much up to where the bird bath is, so I think that'll be really nice. Couple of alliums, and then I have a couple of these grasses, one right here and over there. They are a tufted hair grass. They're a native, they came from a different part of a different garden in the yard, as well as some more rudbeckias, a couple more asters, and another nepida kind of rounding this out. And so this is going to be another area where I'll put some flagstone right here. Looks like I still have a few more weeds to yank out. And the firelight. And right here is another area for the flagstones to go. I'm going to really try to focus on leveling the ground as much as I can, getting it nice and flat and tamped, and then coming in with these flags, bringing it right up to the edge. There's the Invincible Ruby hedge that we planted, and these Pennisetum fountain grasses. All right, and so where you see these few small stones that I have are where some peonies are growing. I might have to pull this one out a little bit away from the fountain, and then I have another one right here. But yes, we finally got the fountain in. There it is in all its glory. I absolutely love it. It's just really simple, but I romanticize with the idea that like birds are just gonna come and sit on the edges and drink and bathe, and it's going to be wonderful and glorious. So hopefully that happens. They are already feeding at the new feeder that I put in the corner next to the bench, so that's exciting. Did not take them long to find that. And then this will be the third area that I put in the flag walkway. So I still have stuff to plant in here, obviously. As of right now, there is only this one echinacea, and then 3 of those shorter anemone varieties, and then the peonies. And I'm thinking this peony is going to stay, and then it's just this one that I'll move out, and probably that one. It might be a little bit too close to the Invincible rubies. So yeah, I'll move these two. That one can stay, and I'm thinking I almost might make kind of a semicircle of them around the fountain. That might look nice. And isn't this just the most glorious color on these hyacinths? These ones, I missed a couple of bags. I thought I had planted everything in the fall, but I found these, I want to say maybe February. They're in the garage, just kind of thrown in a tote, and so I stuck them in the ground, and yeah, they bloomed. I did have some that were rotten, but the majority were not, and they're blooming. They smell wonderful. A couple of them have gotten broken, but that's okay. But yes, I want more of this color. I'll have to double check what it is, because I think that would be a great addition in the fire pit garden for sure. I know that I need to add a lot more bulbs in here. I might actually have to kind of pull these ones up. Might have planted them too close together. It doesn't really give much for the walking path. It's maybe 2 foot, but I want this to be a little bit wider. And then I'm also going to have to pull up this grass right here, Carl Forrester featherweed grass, and put that in a slightly different area, because it's a mostly upright growing grass, but when we get heavy rains, it topples a bit, and it tends to topple that way onto this path, which you can't see because it's been covered in mulch by the chickens. But I want this area to continue in that same color scheme of purple, white, green. So I'm going to put more of the Nepidas. I'm going to bring some of the Salvia caridanas over here. And also I have a couple of daisies in the redbud garden that need to be split, divided. So I'm going to bring some divisions of daisies over here as well. That'll be our pop of white. And so the salvia will be blooming in the spring, late springtime. Those daisies are going to be a strong summer bloomer. And then the Nepeta is going to be kind of an all season, should carry through all season. But I might need to add something else for something later. So I might put in more of those asters. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so that's kind of the update of how it looks right now. And I'm gonna go start on that to-do list that I just listed of all the stuff that I still need to get done in here and get finished up.